There is a big problem with the New World roadmap, and we're going to talk about it. What's going on, guys? Steven with Level Up, and this video is going to be discussing what I consider to be a massive issue with the New World roadmap. Now, overall, up front, I want to say that I think the roadmap in general is fantastic. I think a lot of these things are awesome, but I think there's a flaw in the way that it's designed in terms of what comes when and before what. And let me just say, I know that not everybody's going to agree with this because it is for people who prefer a certain play style, or rather game progression. That is going to be the fact that the level crease doesn't come until the expansion, which doesn't come until late this year. Now, let me explain why that's an issue. As we can see on the roadmap, we are getting a lot of content between now and then. Right, so we're going to get a new expedition. We're going to get 2 trials, aka 2 raids. One expected to be a 20-person raid with the Worm Elite trial, and the other one being the season trial, which is 10 players. We'll probably get another one of those in the next season, which means we will have 3 things that are new content, supposed to be next level in-game content that do not progress our characters. This is the Ennead all over again. This is Starstone and Amrine combined all over again. Yes, it's cool. Yes, it's fun, but where's the replayability? You run the Ennead initially when it comes out because it was fun and it was the most difficult dungeon and I enjoyed that. But after running it 20 times, it was like, wait, why am I doing this? I have a full 625 corruption. I have a full 625 ancient. I don't need to do this dungeon. There's no point. There's no progress to my character being made. There's nothing to gain from doing any of the end game content. And the reason that I think this is important, because I know not everybody likes, oh, there's a gear grind, there's whatever. First of all, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it gives the PvEer something to do. Now, I'm going to make some comparisons to World of Warcraft because it's been around for 20 years. It's the most successful MMO ever. And so there are some things you can compare. And I know some of you are going to go, oh, we don't want WoW 2.0. We don't want New World. It's not. That's not what it is. It's action combat. It's a very, very different game, intricate crafting system. It's not WoW, nor do I think it should be. However, that doesn't mean you can't learn from something that has been wildly successful for over 2 decades. What I mean by that is WoW allows you to push higher and higher content for an item level, aka a gear score. But the thing is, you don't necessarily need it to do the other in-game content, right? You can succeed in mythic raiding without pushing your item level to the max of 424. That's for people who want to keep doing it, who want to hit the peak, but you don't have to. You can do other types of content. Then, of course, they have Mythic Plus, which goes way higher in the numbers, 30s and stuff like that, for those who want to keep pushing. They want to keep progressing and seeing how far they can go. We lack that tremendously in New World. We don't have any of that. And to be fair, that wouldn't be as big of a problem if there were other things for people to do. Right now, your option is basically just to go run OPR or arenas if you don't want to. Maybe you just max out your trade skills, but then you have that done, and a lot of people have already done that if they want to. Why is there a comparison here then? Well, that's because WoW has been around long enough and has enough content that they don't need to be dependent on having more things to do in terms of your end game, right? If you complete the raids or you just don't want to do the raids, what can you do? You can go achievement hunt. There's so many. You can do transmog runs for your items. You can do mount runs. You can do the pet battles. There are so many little things that you can hop on and still do, right? New World doesn't have those things yet because it's still a new game, and I don't expect it to have all of that. But because of that, it means you need people to come back, and they don't have it currently, as we see with the numbers. There's new content, it spikes, but that spike does not last long. This isn't the spike or the gradual decline that we see in other games because there's enough content, people still stick around and they do things. There's a big spike, and then there's a fall off relatively quickly back to low numbers, as we saw with Brimstone Sands and everything else that we've seen thus far. What I'm trying to say is there should be more of a focus on giving people a reason to keep playing, which is what plagues New World currently. And by adding new content that doesn't actually do anything for you, it just doesn't do that. Will I show back up? Absolutely. I love the game. I love the style, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the new dungeon and I'm going to participate in the trials. But because there's gaps between these, I'm probably going to be gone for that. And this is somebody who thoroughly enjoys the game because I don't like OPR. I like PvP. I like wars. Arenas are more fun. OPR isn't for me. Arenas is only going to keep me excited, but for so long. And then I'm just going to go. And this is because why am I going to keep running this new expedition if there's nothing to gain from it? Why am I going to keep grinding the raids if there's nothing to gain from it? This leads me to the next point with raids in particular, right? The expeditions is going to be, okay, it's 625 legendary gear. Maybe there's some new perks. Who knows? Maybe that's what they come up with. But that takes me to the raid gear. if you're doing what they are touting as the hardest content for PvE imaginable, which I love. I know some people are like, oh, it shouldn't like keep people out because it's so hard. No, it should, because you should have to earn your way into it. That's the point of it. It is progression. It is allowing people to reach content by becoming better at the game. If you don't want to or you can't, then just don't do it. That's how I feel about it. I know people are like, oh, content lock, it shouldn't be a skill thing. Then what are we playing for? I don't get it. But with all that said, what is the point of the raid if it doesn't give you higher gear, right? So maybe they counter it and they say, now you're going to get 4 perks on your gear instead of 3, right? Maybe it goes like legendary plus or whatever they would call it after legendary, or just legendary gear, but raid gear has 1 extra perk. That could be a way to do it. That would make it more valuable. People will grind it and grind it and grind it in the hopes that they will get that 4th perk spot as a perk that they want. That's a good idea. We don't know that yet, and that can maybe be the workaround for not increasing the gear score yet, but who knows? And the point of all this is basically to say that the game hasn't had a gear score increase in over a year. It's going to be another half year or more before we get one. And for somebody, and there's a lot of us out there who have 625 sets of all the different ward gear we need and PvP resilient and everything else, there's no more progression in the game. There's nothing else for us to do, and they're just releasing new content that also doesn't offer progression, okay? And if you're gonna say, oh, there's a new heart rune, great. It shouldn't be better than other ones. They should be balanced. You should be able to choose between. So the new heart rune could be something that comes out and nobody wants to use it. It's not good. So it's just a new item you have that offers no value. We're not getting more value. We're not getting more strength to our character. And we need that in some form to keep a lot of us engaged and entertained. We need something to strive for in the game. And I don't think there's enough of that right now. So my final thoughts are just, I love that they're adding the trials. I love that we're getting this raid content. We're getting more PvE in-game content in the form of the new expedition and the other things I just listed. But the fact that it's not going to push us any further and we're just going to run it a couple times because it's new and then we're going to go, oh, okay, I guess that's it. And then a lot of us are just going to leave again because there's nothing to hold us there. We need more to hold us there. We need something to strive for and to push for. And that's the whole thing with this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you agree with me, let me know. If you don't agree with me, I want to hear that too. If you think there's some real flaws in what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. I'm open to hearing your thoughts. Maybe I'll change my mind, but thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. If you like this type of content, make sure you give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also come chat with me live at twitch.tv/heartbreaker_TV. And until next time, good luck in your adventures.